Welcome to the DJ and Stafford radio show. The date is Wednesday, December 14th, 2022. Got a packed show today. We'll be talking about the World Cup semi-finals matches.
Plenty of talking points in those.
And then we will talk about our predictions for the final on Sunday. We're recording for beautiful Cambridge, Massachusetts. And welcome everyone to the show.
So first off, starting, what were your impressions? We're going to start off with the France-Morocco game. What were your impressions of how France played and how Morocco played, DJ?
By the way, my prediction was totally right on the spot. 2-0 France victory. But not in
I should have been right.
But not in the style that they won the game.
You did say they would dominate.
I thought they were going to win more heavily, 2-0, and I thought it was going to be more of a possession. First of all, Morocco, hats off to them. What a World Cup they have had.
Incredible.
They still have the third place game, so they're still going to play for that.
We still get to see more of Morocco, which I'm really
because really it was a joy to watch them play. Obviously they lost, but they played amazing. They played really, really well. They had France on their toes in the second half. But I smelt another France goal. It's just it's a Kylian Mbappe show. It really is. He didn't score today, but he was all over the field, and that's what happens when you give him too much space.
He got the second assist as well. There was a slight deflection on that, but he was unreal setting that up for
Oh my God, he turns one guy, then goes through a couple, cuts through, and then it really he played so good today. Even though he didn't score, or technically I don't know if he.
I'd say he could have been a little bit better on the counter. There were some counterattacks that they had that I said you could do a bit better.
I agreed. The only thing is, first of all, everyone's game plan when you walk into playing against France is stop number 10. How are you going to stop number 10? And I think just so much. It's like you could double him all you want. That means he's going to give space to everyone else.
And England kind of sorted that out, but everyone else stepped up around him. That's how good France is.
That's how good France is. And that was the X factor today. Mm-hmm. France are just a more talented team, a better team. And first of all, they got their first clean sheet of the tournament. Everyone's been saying their defense is shaky. How they gonna keep a clean sheet?
They were not flawless today. I will say they were not flawless. They gave Morocco some golden opportunities to score.
But they kept the clean sheet though.
They did keep the clean sheet. I will say, as impressive as Morocco has been this tournament and how they have totally outperformed all expectations, I feel like they could walk away from this game saying we could have walked away with something.
It should have been tied. I think it should have been 1-1. It could have been a much closer game than the final score. It says 2-0. Mm-hmm. I think they could. They'll be annoyed. They'll be like, we should have came out of this game with maybe we lose an extra time, or we lose in PKs or anything like that. They should be upset.
Their best players still did step up. Unfortunately, Saiss went off very, very early on. That was unfortunate to see. But Hakimi and Ziyech all played very well. And Naziri could have been better up top.
They could. That's at the end of the day. That's what the difference is. That France has clinical players up top.
They do. And
Morocco really doesn't. It was from the start of the tournament. It was kind of a goal by committee. You know, it was a different guy each game, kind of. And that's just the difference. They didn't have anyone clinical up, and they had chances. They had very good chances this game. Mm-hmm.
I'm pulling up the stats right here, and this tells you the whole story. Both teams had 2 shots on goal.
Yeah, it was a very tense game from the start. It was from the start of the game. We knew it was going to be a close game. Mm-hmm. I expected France to win. They did win. I thought they're going to be maybe a little easier.
They could have made it a lot easier, and Morocco gave them a run for their money at some certain points. They had some chances where I was going. That France was in trouble right there, which I think still does speak to the slight vulnerability of their defense, and I'm not sure how that defense will fare up against a clinical team like Argentina.
Well, let's get to Argentina. How about let's get to the other semifinal game, which was yesterday.
Wow.
Argentina.
Just wow.
It was the Messi show. It was
incredible from Argentina. They easily looked like the most impressive team this tournament.
That was their best game of the tournament by far.
Before, I think some people, including myself, would have said out of all the performances we saw, Brazil's performances probably looked the best.
Against South Korea.
Yeah, yes. Especially against South Korea. And even in the group stages, how they dominated possession. But this Argentina was on another level. It was incredible. Messi stepped up, and everyone else stepped up around him. They didn't let up at a goal. They didn't give Croatia any good chances, and they just created, and scored 3 goals from it.
I do think Croatia was. It's crazy to say at all. They're tired. They're out of gas. I think just from the last going deep in these 2 tournaments 4 years ago, I think they were just like they were gassed. They really were gassed, and they created no good chances. There was no There was no time in the game where like, wow, they should have scored that one. They should have scored this chance. It was probably even in possession. I don't know. It probably was like 50-40 Argentina maybe, but it really was just. I think it was just the Messi show. It really is. I mean, it's
his second assist was an absolute thing of beauty, and it better be on. That's definitely.
I think it was a third goal. I thought
third goal. Yeah, my bad. My bad. That goal was that better be in the top 3 this tournament.
Yeah, he turns one of the best center backs right now in the world right now.
I actually have the possession stats right here. Do you want to take a guess?
I could be, maybe even Croatia had more possession. It wasn't anything crazy.
61% possession for Croatia.
Yeah.
But Argentina, 2.34 expected goals to Croatia's 0.52.
0.5, by the way, that's how it tells you. And I think that's why they might win the tournament. They might beat France on Sunday.
How formidable
Very
defense.
good defensively. Very good defensively.
We have 12 shots in total for Croatia, only 2 on target. 9 shots for Argentina, 7 on goal.
9 of those. That's very, yeah. They're always getting. They had a lot of chances. They really did.
That's so impressive for a team like that, and that's why I'm saying France's defense might struggle in this in that final.
I agree, especially they need to get super healthy. They were losing some They were missing players today because of the flu. They need to get healthy by Sunday because I think they're up. They're gonna have a challenge. But I'm telling you right now, France are not gonna back down. It's gonna be such a tough game Sunday. But
can we also talk about who was another absolute star, Julian Alvarez?
Yes,
Julian Alvarez.
He's gotta leave Man City.
Yeah, he took he took the spot of Lautaro Martinez and Dybala up top there, and he was lights out. He was lights out, and obviously that second goal was very easily set up by Messi.
I mean, you and me could have scored that.
Yeah, I definitely. But everything else that he was doing was just perfect. It was perfect.
He needs to leave Man City. He's got to, because I mean, when you have Haaland in front of you, he's obviously not going to start.
His stock is definitely going to be rising after this. He's gonna find a way to leave. He's only 22 and he's got plenty of time left, so I think he's got time for that. And then we also got to talk about their defense. Christian Romero, Otamendi, both.
Otamendi had a world-class game at center back. He was any even sniff that Croatia had towards goal, he just sniffed it out, and he played excellent. And I mean Martinez came in clutch against the Dutch in the quarterfinals, and has an excellent tournament. I think this is the tournament for Argentina.
It could very well be, and coming into the tournament, we saw how dominant Argentina had been for 36 games unbeaten, and they finally lose against Saudi Arabia, and since then they haven't missed a beat.
I think that was a good wake-up call. It's not a wake-up call, but it was like it's a reality check.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, we're not
you're in the World Cup
team.
You're in the World Cup, and any team can beat you.
Any team can beat anyone, because this is even on Saudi Arabia, there's world-class players.
You got the best 32 teams in the world. Anybody can beat anyone.
So I think it was and also I think they did get lucky by not playing Brazil in the semifinals.
They did. That would have been.
First of all, what a game that would have been.
All respect to Croatia, Argentina would have struggled a lot more.
I think they would have. They definitely would have struggled much more. But all credit to Croatia. That's why they were here in the semifinals.
They were there for a reason.
And I do think Croatia was a big disappointment, even though obviously they got to the semifinals. They beat Brazil. It's a big success for them for another World Cup to go this deep in another tournament. But I did expect more from Croatia. I'm going to be honest. Obviously, it was a masterclass by Argentina and Messi, but I expected more from Croatia. Yeah,
I'd still say Argentina would probably win that game at least 9 times out of 10 now. But Croatia will definitely walk away from that game saying that we could have done more. They did lose to the better team though. We've got the 2 best teams in the final.
Yes, and I mean that's what I've been saying. Even though there's a knockout phase, and usually any given day, usually knockout phases you see some upsets.
Yeah.
Like in a 7-game series, that's why basketball and any other sport or baseball, usually the better team wins because out of 7 games, you might lose 1 or 2 here, but out of 7 games, usually the better team wins.
Yeah.
So then maybe people thought there might be upsets here and there.
And we see that in soccer in most knockout stage tournaments.
The 2 legs.
Or even something like the FA Cup. You'll always have something like a Crystal Palace. They find a way into the semifinal.
Yeah, they beat a United or.
Yeah, they find a way to do that along the way. And sometimes that does happen in the World Cup, but at the end of the day, the final will be between 2
best teams.
2 of the best teams.
Two of the best teams, and these are the 2 best teams. I'm so excited.
And unfortunately, that's why we didn't see a team like Morocco in the final. We're not seeing a team like Morocco go the distance, despite
Morocco played really, really well today. That's the craziest thing.
Yeah.
They played better. Actually, I don't know if they played better than because France were just so clinical.
That is tough to say because at the end of the day, you say Morocco had a majority of the chances, especially in the second half.
And the ball.
Yeah, but France created opportunities that they could finish.
That's why I'm not worried for Argentina, is that you can have more of the ball. You can have possess the ball more. You can pass in the back, but that means that gives more space for the French players, for Dembele to run at you, for Mbappe to run at you. That's why it's almost crazy to say, but almost let France have the ball more a little bit, and trying to stay more compact, which I'm shocked Morocco didn't do.
Yeah.
I mean, after you're down 1-0, you have to obviously have to go for that goal, that game tying goal. But I'm surprised they didn't. From the start of the game, they weren't backing down though.
No,
they weren't sitting in the back. They weren't putting 10 guys behind the ball. They didn't care. They weren't afraid of France.
You know what I think was a serious downfall of Morocco? I'm going to say because France forced them to create their own chances on the ball this time, as opposed to Spain and Portugal, where they were able to sit back and defend most of the game.
Which it falls into Morocco's favor much more.
Yeah. In those games, they were able, especially in that Portugal game, they were able to hit them on a slight counterattack where their defense was a little bit shaky and score on that header by En-Nesyri. And in the Spain game, they just were able to defend.
Well, I mean, that's like, first off, if you're down 1-0 against France, better watch out. You in for a world of hurt because that's what France wants you to do. They want you to open up. They want you to kind of press a little more up, and then they'll kill you. They're Mbappe and Dembele are going to kill you in the counterattack. And they had some young kids step up today again. I mean, it was crazy. It really is. France are so talented. There's like a factory over there in that country.
And I think that France just said, like, okay, Morocco, we've shown how good you are defensively. Yeah. You guys have kept clean sheets throughout the entire tournament except for the game against Canada. All right, let's see how you do creating your own chances.
That's really well said. Because literally that's what they kind of said. They said, hey, have the ball. Go have the ball. We'll let you have the ball. We're up 1-0. We don't really care. Try to break us down, and they couldn't.
And we also got to talk about some of France's injuries and who filled in. Can you believe that you have your starting center back injured, Upamecano, and then you replace him with Ibrahima Konate, who is a starting center back for Liverpool? That speaks to the squad depth that France has.
It is, and then just all the injuries they had from the start of the tournament, from Nkunku, from Leipzig, Paul Pogba was injured. Benzema, by the way, I don't know if you heard it, reports Real Madrid are letting Benzema play in the final. Wow. I don't know if you heard this is true. I just
But would we start him?
No, you're not starting him. You're not. First of all, I hate that you're not, just because I know Benzema obviously is a better player than Giroud. Anyone. But you don't start him. No, he's coming back from injury. I'd say you get him off the bench if you're winning or losing. Yeah, you get him off the bench. That's you don't start him. No, you don't start him. It's working with Giroud. Giroud, what a tournament he's having.
Incredible. I keep forgetting that Giroud is such a quality striker, and he turns up for France.
Yeah, and he turns up for France. And he's been turning up for Serie A. I mean, Serie A is not as popular, obviously, as the English Premier League, but he's killed it for AC Milan. That's why they won the title last year. He was a big reason because of that.
Yeah. So Konate comes in, incredible performance.
He played excellent on that left side.
So many interceptions.
And I loved how they put Mbappe to striker. So they took Giroud out, and later in the half they put Mbappe at striker, which, I mean, could be even more deadly. Even though I guess he has less space to run at you with, but
he's
Mbappe at striker,
in the box.
yeah, he's just too good. He's just too talented.
Another standout performance, Fofana, who came in for Rabiot, had a very, very solid game in the midfield. He was fairly quiet. But he was silently, winning possession back every now and then. And then Marcus Thuram, who came in.
Their two center backs.
Yeah.
Their two center backs were excellent today.
Their two center backs were excellent. We saw Marcus Thuram come into the game later on, and he did a good job holding possession of that ball. He drew a couple fouls here and there and played very well. Teo Hernandez, he got on the score sheet today and then also defended very well.
He's just a great left back. He's just a great defender. He's just a great player.
And I will talk about Morocco, who, despite all the great things we've said about them, they unfortunately lost Saiss early in that game.
I think that was a big blow to them.
It's really tough. He's such a leader. He's a great leader on that team.
I kind of wish Morocco, they had the ball, they were creating great chances, but again, it's just that clinical, they couldn't have, the last pass or that last shot couldn't get it. They were getting chances. By the way, Lloris came up big again. I mean, all the Lloris slander, I mean, people
made that save against Ziyech early.
That was a great save in
that game.
And he came up with a couple big saves later in the game. He's just a great goalkeeper. He shows up. I don't know why. Yeah, just because he plays for Spurs and they don't win any trophies, all the jokes, but he's just a great goalkeeper. He's just a class world.
I will say one of my biggest disappointments was Amrabat in that game, who I thought was not quality at all. He could have done much better on that first goal for France. I don't know what he was doing. I don't know what Morocco's defense was doing in general on that first goal. And in the second goal,
he should have came out.
Yeah, and then they were in the second goal. They were just lunging in on Mbappe.
Yeah, well, Mbappe, you can't lunge it at him. He's going to carve you up. He
And
turns
he
one guy and
doesn't miss.
he goes through two other guys, and then he probably would have scored that if it wasn't deflection, but the deflection, France got lucky. But that's how the game works. You got to get lucky to win, and France got lucky. But I think France they weren't the better. They're just an overall better team. They're more composed. They got a better defense, and it was very greatly managed by what's their manager's name? I forgot their name, but he managed very well today. I think he knew what the game plan was. We were up 1-0. Let's just sit back. Let Morocco have the ball. Let's see what Morocco can do.
Walido Regragui, that's the manager's name. But yeah,
France?
he's for Morocco.
No, I'm talking about France.
For France, yeah.
That France, they really managed it well.
Deschamps.
Deschamps. He's a great manager. I wonder if
when you win the World Cup, you're probably a pretty good manager, and then you take your team to another final, back-to-back finals. Your quality.
I mean, we could get to that. Let's talk about the final now. I think we could talk about the final. I mean, just so many stories.
First, we'll get to that. But
how many storylines are there? I mean,
who do you think wins the third place match? We'll touch on that briefly before we get to the big show at the final.
First of all, I think first of all, I love third place matches. It's just you really technically, you're playing for the third place prize, but no one really cares as much. But it's just such a fun game because people don't care and they're playing for pride, and it's always a fun game. I do like the third place match. I think Croatia. I do think Croatia.
If you go,
it's gonna be Luka Modric's last game for Croatia in that jersey, and
yeah,
that's gonna be very sad to watch.
Mm-hmm. I'll say if you go off of semifinal performances, you got to say Morocco will
I
win that.
agree. Mm-hmm. Coming off the semifinal performances, but I do think
Croatia's better than that though.
Croatia's just too much quality.
You know what? I'll take Morocco to win this. Actually, I think they can get the third place medal. I think I might regret saying that, but I'm just gonna say I think Morocco.
I mean, I think it's 50-50. You could flip a coin. I don't.
It's a really tough. I'm actually really excited for that game.
I think it could be. First, I hope it's a high scoring game, and I think it will be because I think Morocco's not gonna care either. I think they're just gonna. Both teams are gonna go at each other with everything they got.
Yeah.
Just let's have fun. Let's win this game. Mm-hmm. I say 3-2 Croatia.
3-2 Croatia. I am gonna go 2-1 Morocco. 2-1 Morocco in that game. I think Hakimi and Naziri will get on the score sheet for them. And then I'll say Perisic scores for Croatia.
I think Perisic will score. I think Luka Modric will score in his last game.
Okay.
Or last competitive game of the World Cup.
Yeah.
And what a career he has. I think you can make a case for him to be one of the best midfielders of our generation. I think he is. Mm-hmm. I think he can say, me and my friends at a lunch were debating, I think he's better than Xavi and Iniesta.
You just annoyed the whole entire Spanish population by saying that.
Yeah, yeah, I don't care. I love Paella, I love Barcelona, but I don't care. I seriously, and it's crazy to say that. If I said that like even 2-3 years ago, people look at me like I have four heads.
Yeah, yeah.
But the fact that he almost won the World Cup final last 4 years ago, last time, and then they were in the semifinal this year with Croatia.
Yeah,
Croatia.
Mm-hmm.
No offense to Croatia, but they're not Spain. Mm-hmm. Xavi and Iniesta were playing with David Villa, Busquets.
That's one of the best World Cup winning teams of all time.
It's one of the greatest teams of all time.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
always in the top five. And then, I know they won the World Cup. I know Modric has one. First, Luka Modric has won 5 Champions Leagues with Real Madrid. 5. Mm-hmm. Obviously, he had so much talent around them. He had Ronaldo. He had Toni Kroos. He had so much.
He was such a vital part of
all of those
Champions Leagues.
And he was the main reason Croatia were so dominant in 2018. He didn't stop running. He just ran that midfield.
Yeah. So there's our third place preview. We got 2 differing opinions, but we'll be excited to see that game.
I'm just excited. I hope for a good game. I really hope for a good game.
And we'll definitely review that when all is said and done. But then we move on to the final. It's going to be so good. It's going to be so good. I'm so excited for this final. I feel like it's going to be better than the last final where it was 1-1 for a bit, and then France kind of carried it away.
It was. I don't remember it being 1-1. I think it was 1-1 for like 5 minutes because then
it
I think
was 1-1
they had the PK
shortly.
right before half, and I mean, the last final, everyone thought France was going to win. Everyone knew France was going to win, and France won 4-1. It was.
We said usually, it's going to be one of the big dogs who wins the World Cup at the end of the day,
and it will be.
Unfortunately, it was not Croatia.
No,
but we got 2 huge teams in the final.
I'm so excited. I mean, we got to talk about the whole Messi storyline. Messi, and then I'm just straight. If Mbappe wins this World Cup, and if he does, let's say hypothetically, he wins the World Cup, right? Mm-hmm. He's gonna be player of the tournament, right? And him and Messi are tied for goals, right? Mm-hmm. So let's say he scores, they win 1-0. He top goal scorer of the World Cup, best player of the World Cup, and he wins the World Cup.
He's 23.
You got to put him in the GOAT debate. You got to. It's crazy to say that only at 23.
I think you need to, even if he does this, he needs to have
at least be in that conversation.
He needs to have the longevity, though.
I agree. But just first off, if he wins another World Cup, it's gonna be 2 World Cups at 23.
Mm-hmm. That's gonna be incredible. 2 World Cups at 23. I don't know, like Pele, I think was 22 or something when he won his second World Cup in 1962. Like,
well, by the way, it was 1962. So I mean, and also at this level,
we're drawing comparisons to Pele.
Yeah, I still think the greatest of all time is Messi, and what we're seeing right now for him at this age is just incredible. It's so incredible, which is why I understand like Mbappe is only 23.
Yeah,
but if he keeps this up, I mean, like we were saying before, he has at least 2 or 3 more World Cups, at least 2 more.
At least 2.
And if he keeps healthy and he keeps at this level, 3 more World Cups.
That's incredible. He's going to be in 5 World Cups, and you don't see France slowing down. It's not like France is
if it's such a young core. No, it's not like an old squad. They're not like this is their last chance to really to go at it. No, they're such a young squad. They're going to be good for at least 2 more World Cups, 3 more World Cups.
Anyways, so what I think Argentina needs to do to win this is to stay calm. All right. Because it's a lot of pressure. If we talk about the pressure difference between Argentina and France, it is 5 times higher for Argentina.
Oh, no, it is. Just because of the Messi storyline. And the nerves and the energy in the first, when that whistle blows, it's going to be very tense.
And the majority of these France players had already won a World Cup. They've already done what 99.999% of professional soccer players will never, ever do. But Argentina is playing for their GOAT and their country who have been waiting for this moment since 1986. Since 1986.
This is a football powerhouse country. All they know is soccer.
And you see 2014 when they were in the final, some of those players got nervous. There were some chances missed.
They were very nervous.
Yeah.
And I think, first of all, if the game starts in Argentina take like a 1-0 lead, it's going to be such a big relief. I think it's going to help them as much. I do agree. They need to be calm. Mm-hmm. It's crazy to say, but the nerves are going to be, first of all, how much pressure is going to be on Messi?
Yeah. Yeah, and if we've seen nerves and the amount of pressure a team has on them has played a significant role in this World Cup. Look at Croatia-Brazil. If Croatia goes out of that game, Croatia says, you lost to Brazil. That's fine. If Brazil loses, what is the population going to say?
Expected to lose, yeah.
Yeah, and then what happens in the PK shootout? All that pressure on Brazil cracked. They cracked. So what? How does Argentina deal with this pressure? Do they deal with it like Brazil did? Or can they deal with it how they have this entire World Cup? And even when it came down to the wire, especially against the Netherlands, they gave up 2 goals very quickly.
That was very bad. I think that was very bad. But I think they just say, you know what, we let up those 2 goals. We played bad, but we got out of it because this Croatia game, the last day, was just so good, so clinical.
And they clearly dealt with the pressure very, very well.
Oh, extremely well.
But the pressure now doubles going into a final. And how do you deal with that? I tell you what, they better be doing meditation 3 hours a day up until this final. They need to be doing that constantly. They need to be at peace of mind with themselves in order to deal with all this pressure.
What would you eat pregame before a World Cup? What are the French players? Are they baguettes? No,
they're eating baguettes before the World Cup final.
I mean, Argentina, I know they're known for their steak, right? And just meat. So
you know what?
You can't eat a big, heavy steak before a game, though,
you know
right?
what? Maybe the night before some whole grain pasta, and then the day of the game, let's get some eggs in the morning. And then lunch, let's have something light.
What do you think Mbappe's eating before? Huh?
Mbappe, 5 baguettes and also probably like 40 Red Bulls for how fast he runs.
Red Bulls? No, he doesn't need no Red Bulls. He doesn't need a Red Bull.
He's chugging energy drinks and then going straight onto the field. That's what he's drinking. Nah, to run that fast, I don't know.
He's so fast. It's like crazy. He's so fast. He's so goddamn fast. But yeah, I think it was very well said. I think France had been in this position 4 years ago, literally the last World Cup. They've been here. They know what it's like. I think they're going to be so calm. That's why, predictions, I don't know who to pick. I'm going to be straight up honest.
How many of these Argentine players played in the 2014 final, other than Messi? I don't think
none of them.
Many did. I'm trying to...
because I know none of them...
Because if any of them did, they definitely... barely played in the game.
No, I'm thinking right now. I was watching a TikTok on it, and they were saying they showed the lineup. The goalkeeper was the guy from Man United. Their left back was from Man United. The right back was Zaleta from Man City. None of the players.
Di Maria?
No, Di Maria was on. Higuain was starting striker.
Yeah.
Mascherano was in the center mid. If you could look at that starting lineup, none of them were there.
Yeah, I'm looking at this lineup.
So the only player was Messi. So the only player that's been here is Messi.
Wow.
I mean, he has the most pressure on the team. He has the most pressure. I don't think in sports has anyone had this much pressure. A whole country in the world in the GOAT debate. And like I said, if France win this and Messi loses this, you could put Mbappe in that GOAT debate already.
Yeah.
He's gonna have 2 World Cups, and I think obviously he's so young. So in the Champions League, he's gotta have to win a couple of Champions Leagues to be in that debate. But you could start putting him in the debate already.
I don't think we've seen a final that means this much in a really, really long time. I'm trying to think any final that meant more than this.
Besides the 2014, because of Messi.
Well, even then, like that Messi, we knew Messi had more World Cups after that.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
this one is this one is something completely different. I can't think of any other final that meant this much. I think you could maybe bring it back to the 1930s when there were politics involved in this.
Okay, yeah, when there was more worlds, yeah. Okay,
but
yeah,
I'm just looking at this on a pure soccer level. I don't think there's any that has matched the amount of pressure that Argentina is going to feel on this game.
Well, I'm happy it's not 2 European teams.
That's true. That's true.
Also, in the semifinal, we had. It wasn't an all-European final.
2
or
Europeans,
semifinal,
South American team, and
an
African team.
Which I like a lot because, first of all, it's no one's ever. That's the thing. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think we're ever gonna see an African team or an Asian team ever win the World Cup. I just don't in my lifetime. I don't know. Maybe it might be the South Korean Messi in a couple years might emerge.
I don't know. Those kids on the streets of Morocco, they feel pretty inspired right now.
No, they do. They're
going on. They're playing, man.
They definitely do. Okay, obviously, but I doubt
stuff like this really does help a nation develop the sport in its world.
Oh, for sure, sure. I mean, like I'm telling you right now, but a country like Qatar is never going to be even competitive.
I know what you mean.
These countries that host the World Cup, like South Africa, they haven't been in the World Cup since they hosted it.
That's
right?
true. Yeah, that's true. No, they hosted it. I think they do decent qualifying, but they don't end up making it, unfortunately.
Yeah, but this game, it's going to be.
So what I think France needs to do, they need to lock up their defense, because if they do what they did against Morocco today against Argentina, they're going to get punished and they're going to hurt.
I do think so. If they played, I do agree. I mean, they were a little shaky, but they locked it down at the end of the day. But if they played like they did against Argentina, they're gonna be cooked. Messi's gonna be so clinical. Who's gonna play on the right side? Probably not Di Maria. Is it Messi? And then their striker is the kid from Man City.
Well, they played a 4-4-2.
4-4-2, really.
And they put Julian Alvarez up top with Messi.
So it's Alvarez and Messi up top.
Yeah.
Well, they got to watch it for Alvarez.
And Messi just kind of went wherever he wanted to.
First of all, Messi plays wherever he wants, okay? If he wants to get the ball all the way from the center backs and dribble up, he could do that.
If he says, I want to play goalie, he'll go play goalie.
I mean, yeah, actually, I'm not saying no to Messi. I'm not saying no to Messi, but I don't think his 5'7" length is going to be very good in that.
What also France needs to do, though, I think they need to put Argentina under that pressure, make them really feel it, all right? First tackle, going hard. Right?
I think the X factor is going to be obviously Messi and Mbappe, but I think Alvarez
make them know
for
we've
Argentina,
been here and we know what it takes to win this.
I don't think they need to let them know. I think Argentina or France are going to do their thing. That's what I mean. Like people were saying, like, oh, are they going to be nervous against Morocco because this big underdog and Morocco has nothing to lose and France have to win this game? Like any pressure? I was like, I don't think so. France they've been here before 4 years ago.
No, they don't feel the pressure.
Even though they have a young team, these young players, Tchouaméni. He's like, what is he, 22?
Yeah, he's really young.
He won a Champions League.
Plays naturally, yeah.
Yeah, he won a Champions League for Real Madrid this past season. Like, these young kids, Mbappe, 23, but he already won a World Cup. He scored in a World Cup final. Like, it's crazy.
And this squad actually has quite a few differences from that squad in 2018, especially in the back line. You don't see Umtiti playing. You see Upamecano playing.
With Varane. But that's why I do think France can win it, because they have such a young... I love the balance of youth and veteran, like Varane, Giroud, Griezmann, these veteran players that have been here before, Lloris. But you have these young players like Tchouaméni. Crazy to say, is Mbappe a young?
Mbappe's a young player. He's 23. He's a young kid. He's just a little boy.
But he's not a veteran. But that's why Mbappe is just a special player.
Yeah, he is.
For all the hate he's getting at PSG, which I think it's deserved here and there maybe, but he really is such a special player to watch. Oh my God.
So if France play like they did today, I think they lose to Argentina.
I do think so.
But if they play even if they play like they did against England.
No, England.
you can.
It's weird to say. I
Argentina
think against
pulling
England they
something
might have played better.
Yeah.
The only goal they let up was a PK, and they never let up like a goal, like through
huge
play
opportunities in open play. They didn't really let up too many of those
against
opportunities.
England. It wasn't like it was. They're more. They're crazy to say they play better against England. I think so.
And if they score those 2 goals, will that be enough to win them the game?
I think so.
I really don't know, because Argentina can score 2 as well. They can easily score 2 and take that into extra time.
Who are you putting on Messi? Was it Upamecano or?
Yeah, so long as he's healthy. If he's not healthy, then Konate should probably go on Messi.
What's his team? Or what Konate actually? No, Messi doesn't play at Barcelona anymore. I forgot.
No, he doesn't. Yeah,
forgot about that. It's gonna be. By the way, I'm gonna love the reactions between Mbappe and Messi. Well, how's that gonna go down?
I mean, obviously they respect each other a lot.
No, they respected
all that goes away when World Cup final. Come on.
Well, I mean, they're not like Neymar and Messi are like our best friends and are very good friends.
Yeah, they are.
But Mbappe and Messi, it's always like more awkward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll see what happens when it comes to that. But I guess I gotta ask, who do you think wins this?
Okay, let me. Like I got my house is.
I asked you first because I really need some time to think.
I know. I need time to think too. Okay, all right. I'm gonna say it. So Martians got the death beam on us, and I gotta pick. Okay, Martians got the death beam. It's. I'm going with my heart. My brain tells me one thing. I'm going with my heart. I'm going to Argentina. I'm going to Argentina 2-1. Messi scores the first goal, and then France tie, but then Alvarez, I think, is to score the winner. I think like in the 74th minute. Not super late. Not super extremely dramatic.
All right.
2-1 Argentina. 2-1 Argentina. I don't think any of these teams are going to keep a clean sheet. I think there's too much talent up front. I think like Giroud scores it or something. Let's say Giroud. I'll say Varane scores from a corner kick.
Okay.
Because I think Argentina's first of all, it's gonna be a big height difference. Argentina's a pretty small team.
Yeah, they got a small team.
Besides their center backs, they're a pretty small team.
Yeah,
they're not.
Argentina isn't winning.
That's
any
why
headers on those crosses.
That's why against the Dutch, I think I was kind of worried against the Dutch because the Dutch are. I mean, their average height for non-soccer players is 6 foot, the tallest nation in the world. I never seen anything like it. I mean, I think the Lakers actually need a center, so I just call up some Dutch players.
Just go to the Netherlands and put the scouts there.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Someone.
I don't know why the Dutch actually don't have more basketball players. I never.
You'll find someone there.
Because the French love basketball. I know that.
They do love
basketball. They actually have a good amount of French players in the NBA. We love it. And Spain. Spain's very good.
Mm-hmm. But so you're going 2-1.
2-1 Argentina.
Argentina.
Book it. 2-1 Argentina.
In the 90 minutes.
Yes, in 90 minutes. I don't think this is going to extra time, even though I just don't see it. I'm going to be honest. Even though Argentina went to extra time against Germany in 2014, but yeah.
So when I look at these two teams on paper...
I'm going with my heart. Sorry to interrupt.
That's your heart?
My head, I do think France are a better team, but I'm going with my heart. France are a better team. Do you agree or not agree? On paper, there's more talent, better players.
I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. I think Argentina... on paper, you're just saying looking at the players, or you're saying looking at the performances?
There's more world-class players everywhere. Only thing I'm a little worried about is
I think before
Argentina's midfield.
I think before the World Cup, I could have said France on paper probably looks like a more talented squad.
Well, there's new players emerging.
But we've seen how good those players on Argentina are.
I understand. But I do. One thing I'm worried about Argentina's midfield. I don't know how they're gonna. If Tchouaméni does play, I think French midfield is much better. But I think both back lines are kind of even, and I do think just Messi's the X factor, and I think Alvarez is gonna be. He's what a tournament he's having.
Yeah.
I think he scores that beautiful goal against Mexico, gets him the starting job, and then ever since then he's just on a roll. I know there's Martinez was supposed to start. I know a friend of mine's not a big Martinez fan.
Not a big Lautaro Martinez fan.
Yeah, but I mean he kills it for Inter Milan.
He does.
In Syria.
He's quality. So
yeah, what's your prediction? I gave you time. I gave you enough time. I've been talking for all this time. What's your prediction?
When I look at these two teams on paper, I see almost nothing that separates them. So you know what's going to separate them? A PK shootout. I am going to say game ends 2-2. We're going to end 1-1 in extra time, and we're going to go to extra time, and each team will score. Ends 2-2, and we're going to go to a PK shootout. And you know who wins that PK shootout? Argentina, my friend. And Messi lifts the trophy at the end. Who's
scoring the last PK? Who's taking it? Messi usually takes the first one, though.
Yeah, no, I don't think Messi's going to score the winning PK. Probably they just go with the regular squad that they had against the Netherlands in that lineup. So I think Lautaro Martinez.
If that happens, I think
they build a statue of Lautaro Martinez in Buenos Aires.
In Buenos Aires.
I think that is my prediction. ladies and gentlemen.
And the little,
But I'm being so serious when I say this. I see nothing separating these two teams other than 11 meters from the goal. That's the only thing that I see separating these two teams.
I think France's midfield is a little better. I do think so.
You can say this and that. I can say, maybe Martinez is a better goalkeeper than Lloris right now. I can say.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't know. I agree though.
That's what I'm saying. You can swing either way.
Martinez looked excellent against the Dutch, and then Lloris looked great today and against England.
Yeah, they've all looked great. They've all looked great. They've all looked absolutely fantastic, and I wish both teams could lift the trophy.
No, actually, I don't. I want Messi to win. Okay?
No,
I really. It's. By the way, I'm gonna cry if he wins or loses. Okay, you're gonna see a lot of grown men.
A lot of grown men.
A lot of tears.
We'll be crying regardless.
Win
of what
or
happens.
loss, and just like I guess because everyone just the shoes that Messi has to fill. Because of Maradona and what he's done to Argentina, they literally carry those World Cup teams to win 2 World Cups.
Yeah.
And now Messi, he had a chance in 2014, and now he gets another chance. This is his last World Cup, for sure. And his last probably tournament. I don't think he's going to play Copa America in 2-3 years.
The Copa America is supposed to be in 2023 next year, I believe. So he might play in that, actually. But if I'm Messi,
okay, but
if I'm Messi, I win this World Cup, I retire from international.
Yeah. Oh, no. I think you should retire.
Soccer, yeah.
Even if you lose, I think he should retire. Because, just...
Mm-hmm. But that's what I'm saying. And then, Argentina wins. You're going to see riots on the streets of Argentina when they win. And you're going to also see riots on the streets of France.
Actually, the French people love the riot. They riot about anything. They love protests.
They love it.
How many revolutions have they had? Like 5 in their nation's history?
Jeez.
Too many, right?
A lot.
I never liked Le Miserables. boring. All right. We're going to have to wrap up the show.
We're going to have to wrap up the episode there. Thank you guys so much for listening, and we can't wait for the final. Can't wait.
Yes, I can't wait. Thank you for listening.